Hello everybody, welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Tone and it's fantastic to have you with me once again. My apologies for it being quite a while once again between videos. Life gets busy, but as long as we keep coming back to the things that really matter, then we're doing something right. Today I want to touch on something related to my previous video, and it was to do with the 6 and 9 project. I found it very encouraging with the responses that I received to do with my post on Facebook, for example, where I asked for a perspective or people's perspectives and whatever they thought the number might be, and there was some very interesting responses, and I was very encouraged by the depth of involvement with that. I found that to be, yes, very encouraging. And probably the standout comment that I would select out of all of those comments, the one that's stuck in my mind the most, was the fact that the number is whatever the person who placed that number there intended it to be. I think that that's the wisest answer, because everything else is mere perspective and, could be justified in various different ways with the limited information that was available. However, the wisest answer would have to be, it is whatever number the person who placed it there intended it to be seen as. They wrote it there with a purpose. Now, something that's not really surprising, and I'd say probably still a little disappointing, was the lack of response, the lack of interaction relating to the video that revealed the whole purpose and the whole point to the discussion in the first place. Once the truth is revealed, and it seems to be that way, and I thought it was a valid point to bring forward now, is that when we do finally dispel with the worries of what perspective actually matters, and we bring out what is actually the truth of a matter, that's when either we get either get a very strong negative reaction to the truth, or we get a very apathetic response, which is essentially just no interaction and no response to follow up with. And so that that is the disappointing thing that I would say about this, was the lack of conviction. The lack of conviction that came after the video, which I put forward my reasoning for and my clear reasoning. There was no response as to no, you're wrong and this is why, or no, actually I can see what you mean and yes, you're 100% correct. There was none of that. And so essentially, even though we broke it all down and worked it out that this is a 6 or it is a 9, I guess either people saw the truth of that and were too afraid to stand up and be counted in standing with that. And then there were others that were probably going to say, well, that's a load of rubbish. This general rule does not apply across everything, but there's no point in trying to respond to this because the guy's cuckoo. I mean, various different responses could be possible, but the lack of conviction after the truth is revealed is one of the reasons why we live in the world that we currently live in. Those that clearly don't want to hear the truth make so much noise to fight against the truth. They are the loudest. They are the minority, but they are just loud. And then you've got the silent majority who, well, they've got a pretty good grasp on what is true, but they just don't want to fight for it. They don't want to say anything. And that's probably the most disappointing part of all this. But I'm going to be part of the majority that is actually saying something. And that's the whole point to this. Now, I wanted to also cover something that I did miss in the first video, and that was to discuss the reasoning for the reasoning for the 6 image being blacked out in the middle and around the outside. And that is because it doesn't matter how much we want to dress up and prettify, is that a word? Beautify a lie or an untruth. It remains dark at the core. It remains wrong. We can dress it up with the nice, pretty 6 colours and dance around it as if it's some sort of rainbow and use it as a flag and whatever else we want to use it for. Doesn't make it real. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it true. So that's the reason for the image to be like that. It's the reason I selected to not make the 6 colour 6 to be solid colours. It's just an outline around a black heart and on a black canvas behind, a black image behind, a black background. That's the reason for that. So I think this video is just going to be a little bit of a shorter one today. I just wanted to encourage anyone out there who saw my video, they understand the truth behind the video, but were too afraid or too apathetic about this issue to say anything. If you know what is true and you fail to share it and you fail to stand up for it, then, well, you are part of the problem with others missing the point and missing the truth. There's absolutely no value to knowing what is true if you're not doing what you can to share it with others. It doesn't matter whether they want to hear it or not. Sharing it doesn't mean shoving it down people's throats. But silence, remember this saying: if you never ask the question, the answer is always no. If you never share what you know, no one's got a clue what you know. No one's got a clue. No one's going to respond in any sort of way, whether it be positive or negative. It's just a non-event. It's like unsalty salt. Now, what would you do with white powder that does nothing, right? You got this white powder. It's supposed to be salt, but you add it to your cooking and it doesn't do anything. It's useless. What do you do with it? Well, you just throw it away. Throw it out the door. It ends up becoming your part of your driveway, part of your garden, but it doesn't do anything, right? That's what we are if we know what is true and we don't do anything about it. We're unsalty salt, useless white powder, road material, get trampled underfoot. So, now I also know that some people like to say, that's a little bit salty, right? You're being salty with someone. and they use it as a negative term, like you're upset or you're angry or something like that. But look, to be salty, I'd say, is the right way to be. It doesn't mean that you outwardly go and try to antagonize people and upset people. But at the same time, you shouldn't be just hiding behind whatever it is you're hiding behind and not sharing the truth. Get out there, speak it to people, help them understand. Yeah, look, I just wanted to share that today because, like I said, I wasn't surprised that no one said anything. I wasn't surprised that it just kind of petered into nothing. I noticed that it's got probably the most number of views of any of my videos, but it also has nothing really said there. I think I'll have to check, but I think maybe a good friend of mine, Tony Martin, I think he responded there. I'll have to check that. And that's going to lead me to rediscussing quickly about his project, or the project that he's heavily involved in, and that is the Noah VR game. Now, if you haven't heard me mention this before, Noah VR is a virtual reality game. It's a project that's been in play for a couple of years now, but it's really starting to gain some traction. So if you haven't checked that out yet, and you are the type of person that is really seeking the truth or seeking to be involved with something that is trying to get the truth out there to people, I really encourage you, please go check out VRnet and get in touch with them if you want to know more information. They're working pretty flat out at the moment. Like I said, things are starting to gain traction, and that's fantastic and very, very exciting. But if you want to get to know a little bit more about it, VRnet, it's set to be a pretty big game-changing game, and I really encourage you to check that out. Tony Martin, he's the guy that's got it all sorted. He's doing the marketing stuff, so he'd be the one that you'd be best to get in touch with. There's a few other members that have been helping out with various different parts of it. Yeah, Tony could fill you in on that stuff. And before I finish off this video, I want to give a shout out to Tony Woodcock. He has his own channel. He's actually got a number of channels. You want to check out Sail Daddy on YouTube. You want to check out God Rules channel. He's covering some really, really, really important topics on those on those channels as well. And I've found great encouragement from his channel or channels. His material, the way that he presents, it's really great. And he's really starting to look into some stuff that goes well beyond politics now. It's world events, it's history, it's all sorts of stuff. So go check out Tony's channel, Sail Daddy and God Rules channel, and tell him Tones the Breakdown sent you. But in all seriousness, check that stuff out. He's sharing some really great material there. And I'll leave you with just an encouragement. Please, when you understand what is the truth, when you are on the side of the truth, and remember, truth really matters. Don't just hear it and get all excited about it and then forget about it. Don't hear it and palm it off and think that it's some sort of crackpot idea. Respect it for what it is, and do what you can to be a part of the solution to other people not getting to hear about it. Don't just try to save yourself some pain or whatever you think you're saving yourself from by being silent about this stuff. It really, really matters. And that's what I want to encourage you. That's it. Until next time, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you haven't already subscribed and this is your first time here, go check out my other videos. I really encourage you to do that. And subscribe. Share this video far and wide as far as you'd like to, if you think it's going to be encouraging to other people, that you would like to hear the truth. If you don't know exactly how to share it yet, but you really want to give them access to something that kind of gets their mind thinking on this line of thinking, share my channel. Share them to subscribe to Tony's channels as well. Check out Noah VR. And until next time, please, I pray that God blesses you, and we'll see you in the next videos. Take care and bye for now.